Hello and welcome to what I think an ideal chemistry classroom would look like, especially for a flipped classroom scenario. From the group areas to work in project groups and all that, to the individual workstations, to a tech station so students can do research. There are shelves full of journals and books and research material, to the hands-on activities like molecular model building and all that, even to the teacher station found in the middle. I'm going to discuss all these a little bit here and there, and I'm even going to discuss how I would integrate it into the global chemist community so students can see what chemistry would be like at the higher levels. The first thing we're going to talk about are the group and individual workstations that you can see at the bottom and top left. These workstations are designed so students can work in groups or individually on projects that they think that they need to work on, such as molecular modeling, or even have the teacher come and assist them with things that they might not know. The group areas are especially important as it will teach students how to work together in research groups, which is very important in science in general. These workstations also would have power outlets to allow them to plug their computers, iPads, Samsung Galaxy Pads, whatever they're using, so that they can work on their project. These devices would be utilizing ClassFlow, Seesaw, and other such technologies so that they could see how they're progressing, and the teacher can get feedback from the students on what is going on, what they may be missing. That way a differentiated environment can take place, so that way students aren't feeling lost, and the teacher can also make sure that students are meeting the learning goals that the students themselves have set for the lessons. Another important feature of these groups is that it gets them working as groups, and that prepares them for the lab work that takes place in chemistry. Lab work can be boring and all that, but if you can tie it in with the group work in the classroom, you might be able to get more interest in this lab work environment and all that, and it makes the students more excited to get into the lab and not go, oh, this is so boring. And to the right, we notice a projector screen. This projector screen is not just for sharing material between the students and the teacher and the students. It is for communicating on a global level, meeting scientists, maybe meeting other classrooms from other countries. The screen makes it large enough so all the students can see what's going on and see who they're talking to. That is very, very important because these people might be able to relate something to the students that gets them interested in chemistry, or it goes into something that they do in real life. Now we're going to talk about the bookshelves. The bookshelves are very, very important. They hold all the journals, books, and other research material, molecular model kits, and other hands-on activities that the students might want or need for exploring chemistry. Exploration is the essence of science. That is how we find new things. And if students can be encouraged through their own exploration to learn something, I believe in chemistry that it helps, especially in a flipped classroom, because they're going to be watching the lectures at home, watching a video like this, but they're going to be exploring in the classroom. They're going to be learning with hands-on activities. They're going to be teaching each other all these different things by, just as I said, exploration. The last thing I'd like to talk about is the teacher station. The teacher station is really just a place for the teacher to have their items. That is their spot. That way they're not intruding on the students' work areas. They're in a good spot. They can help students who are at their individual stations who need individual help. They can walk over and help the group projects. They can project and they can see that screen perfectly, and the tech stations and all that they're in a perfect spot to help in all those places. It also helps the teacher because the teacher can watch and see how students are learning, and maybe they can observe that they need to step in at that time. Now, all this has to lead towards a lesson, and one of the ones that comes from the American Chemical Society is Introduction to Flavor Chemistry. Now, I don't know about anybody else, but it's really cool thinking that chemistry is involved in the food that we eat. The cool part about this lesson is that it culminates in a mock interview for a flavor chemistry lab where they have to identify the compounds that make the flavors. Why is this salty? Why is this sweet? What compound is making it that way? Which is done in chemistry labs almost anywhere around the world. But in the end, I could go on for hours about things that I would want in an ideal classroom, from VR technology for molecular modeling to all the lab equipment I'd love to have. But in the end, I went with what I thought would help students have an engaging experience that would not just teach them chemistry, but would also lead to having these skills lead into the real life, even if they don't take a career in chemistry as what they want to do with their lives.